Yeah, so we're so glad to see all of you beautiful women on here. We have some repeaters, which I love that you guys always continue to come back to us. Whee! And some new people. So today we're going to just talk about a one-day detox and what that looks like, because a lot of people only have 24 hours to get the job done. So we thought, why not just make it super simple for you guys to jump into what it feels like for one day, to take a break from some of the high allergen foods and from just some of the things that might be holding you back a little bit.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
excited, and we have about 300 people joining us, and I see a few people have joined us last minute. I had joins all hour, the last hour. So if you're jumping on, you're here, you're ready. You may not know what this is, but we're happy you're here. And if you followed us for any amount of time, we do a lot of these little challenges for people. Like we did a 3-day sugar-free challenge for a couple years. And this is just to really get you inspired, get you on the health track. January is such a great momentum month for just, inspiring some new healthy habits. So that's what we're here for. And please use the chat feature because we love to hear from you. Put your video on. We'd love to see you. This class is all about interaction and getting your questions answered. You have Elena and I for just about over 30 minutes. So yeah, we're just here to help, and use the chat. We'll get to questions. I was going to say one more thing about that. The class is recorded.
Well, we wanted to ask you all just to start typing in where you're from and what you're here to learn. But before you do that, it might be good just to check in, because things change. Things, you think you want one thing, but then your body tells you something else. So just take a minute. I love to do this before we start anything. It's just to close your eyes wherever you are, feel your feet on the ground, and just take a breath. Feel into your body, your physical being of a body. Your body has different desires than your mind. So let's just take a minute to say, hey, body, hello. What would you love to get out of doing a one-day detox? What would you love to learn today in the next 30 minutes? What do you need to know? Just take a breath and listen. Sometimes we forget to ask ourselves what we need. We're all guilty of that. So then just open your eyes and you can go ahead and start typing in the chat where you're from and what your body told you it needs right now. What do you like to get out of this day? Maybe set your intention.
Yeah, the intention is a good one.
Yeah, so we'll talk about our intentions while you're typing that in. And then Caitlin will read what your intentions are. So Caitlin and I, we always, before we start a class, we did our own little drop-in, calling in our guides, our angels, checking into where we're at with this. And I'm getting full body chills. Our purpose, Pure Joy Planet, the reason this company was created and the reason Caitlin and I are together is to be of service, to be here to help you tune into what your body needs to get not only your body healthier, because that's one aspect. If your body's clean and your body's healthy, everything else flows. Your spirituality flows, your mental thinking flows, all of the pieces start to flow. And so we start with food. We feel like that's a gateway into so many levels of consciousness. And so being of service means to us just to be here for you, because we've had so many years of experience with this. And just to see what you need, what you would like, how we can support you, and even just supporting you with our energy. But there's also an emotional piece to this. We know that everybody kind of knows what's healthy, but it's the emotions that tie us to the wrong choices or keep us going back to old patterns. So we really want to help get to you on not just the what to do, but like some other aspects, tuning into your emotional body and maybe what's going on there and clearing that. So we get into more of that when we do our 30-day. One day is kind of hard to do that, but just know that there's so many more pieces to this, and that the food is the perfect place to start, because once your body's clean, you'll start getting better messages on what you actually need. And sometimes like intuitively eating is like, what's that? Like as soon as you stop eating the allergen foods and the toxic foods, your body can start telling you more of what it does need.
Absolutely. Yeah. So our intention is to just help create healthier habits for you. And my intention as well is just to make sure you feel like you are well informed and that you have the tools and the knowledge to really just commit to this one day. And maybe you commit to one day and beyond, and maybe you do this 3 days in a row. We're just here to inspire whatever your body needs right now. And I see so many people typing their intentions in the chat. So thank you. Andrea is from Texas and her body wants rest. Julie is from, or Jules AZ, inspiration and ease to carry out my inspiration. Jules from San Francisco Bay Area, glad to be here to get re-inspired, get myself jump started for this year and improved wellness. I love that. That's so great. Dana from Tucson, body wants energy and release allergy symptoms. Yes, detoxing is so helpful for allergies. So I love that you said that. Christine is from Maui and her intention is to go and have acceptance and get tips for detoxing. Awesome. So many. We have Chile, Bridget from Chile, someone from Bend. We are all over the continent. Ali is from Australia, Joan from San Diego, here for a healthy reset. January is the best time to start. Agreed. Awesome. Toronto, I would love to find out a new detox without being so hungry. Yes, I love this protocol because this is not a fasting protocol. As you already know, you downloaded your recipes. And it's really just full of nourishment and nutrients. And we're going to explain why we're doing it this way. Let's see, Olive from Orlando. Yeah, so many of you here today. Thank you so much for joining live.
Yeah, we love that you're here. So a lot of you, some of you know us, but a lot of you don't know us or know much about us. So I'll just briefly kind of talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing and how I got into this. In 1997, I found out I had systemic candida, which is a form of yeast and mold. My health was at an all-time low. I had really bad eczema. I had a lot of ailments, low energy, almost to the point where I had chronic fatigue. I just tired all the time, irritable, cranky. And I found raw foods. I found a whole book on cleansing and raw foods. And so I jumped into that, did a 30-day detox, which was, looking back, was pretty harsh because I didn't know what I was doing. So that's another reason I teach, is because I was like, I don't want people to feel abandoned like I did. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And after that 30 days, I felt like my whole life was new, like even just 30 days in of getting rid of a lot of the toxic foods that I've been eating. And then over time, I started catering and making raw foods for people. And then I wrote a recipe book, and the snowball started going. And detox has always been my favorite aspect of, I'm not 100% raw foodie anymore, although I still love raw foods. I love the raw green juices and the raw salads, and even we're going to learn raw soup today. Raw foods is really like a reset. It's really good because the food is so pure and so clean. And then, as time went on, we started a culinary academy and started teaching people really how to do this lifestyle as a foundation. And even that didn't feel like enough. We did like so many raw food trainings in Bali, and people still I didn't feel like they really got it. Like in the 30 days that they were there, they were like, oh, I learned the recipes, but what about the lifestyle? So then Caitlin and I teamed up and started teaching this whole keto gone green lifestyle of not just, yes, like what to eat every day, all your, like everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. And then we added in meditation, and we added in, conscious language, thinking, using your mind and your words to create your reality, and movement, how important that is. And then detox protocols, which you will get when you do the 30-day program with us. If you do that, like how to skin brush, how to oil pull, how to do an enema, how to do so many things. There's so many aspects. And like my 25 years of learning, we've tried to pack into this, but we're here just to really kind of give you the download of what you can do today to just jumpstart your health. So that's why I'm here. And I love doing this. My favorite thing is turning people on to healthy eating and getting them off sugar. That's a big one. And getting them off gluten. Like those two things, I feel like can start switching your life right away. What about you, Caitlin?
And that's why we're such a good team, because we have so much of the same vision. And of course, I started over 10 years ago, and that's because of my own health challenge. I was diagnosed with a few autoimmune conditions and literally had no background in healthy eating or health whatsoever. I was in the middle of university and I completely changed career paths. As I was getting myself healthy, I was just so inspired. I was feeling better than I've ever felt in my entire life. I was healing from the inside out, and that was through food, and detox primarily was really my gateway in here, and green juicing and all of that. And doing these fasts and doing these just like elimination protocols. Like I just saw Denise typed in the chat, to some, this one day detox might be a fast. And I can totally relate to that at the beginning, because you are going to be fasting from things like sugar and gluten and dairy. And it could be the first time in a really long time that you've done that. And I know for me, just eliminating those foods was definitely a major fast for me, and my body just started to regenerate itself. And it was such an amazing opportunity for me to really look also inside of myself. And when Elena talked about meditation, it wasn't until I was able to bridge the gap between my health problems and actually my worthiness to be healthy. And that, got me into the spiritual aspect of living this healthy, vibrant, pure joy lifestyle. So that's why we love to talk about that too. And that's really why I'm here too, is just here to inspire and here to show you how easy it can be, especially with the plan that we have for you today.
Exactly. So I'm going to go into the benefits of detoxing, even for just one day. And I do want to say what's coming in now is everybody's so unique and different. We're all really different. I've met people that say, raw foods really just don't work for me. And that doesn't mean that you can't do a one-day detox and have a lot of raw foods. You can't do a one-day green juice. It just means sometimes your body needs different things. And the more clean it gets, the more it can tell you those things, which I already said. But just know that it's not a one size fits all ever. And even Caitlin and I, I've seen, it's easier to see the other person. And I've seen Caitlin in the 6 years we've been together, even her health evolution, it just keeps getting better. And for myself as well, we keep getting new ahas and learning more about ourselves. So it's always a journey. We're not perfect. We're just teaching you what we've learned, and we know what works. So one of the biggest benefits, the top one that I feel of doing a detox, even one day, I've had so many people tell me that after one day of just taking a break, because a lot of people have never gone for a day, even fasting, taking a break from their normal food, oh, wow, I woke up with more energy. So tomorrow morning, or you're going to be doing this tomorrow. Today is the learning day, and then tomorrow you'll do your detox. Wednesday morning, you might wake up oh my gosh, I woke up at 6 and felt so good and was just ready to go. Different for different people. Some people might be going more into a little bit of a detox, so they might feel some detox symptoms, which just could be something like a headache, or just feeling like your tongue's coated, more toxins want to come out. So it's going to be different for everybody. But reducing inflammation, I would say, is the number one thing about eliminating problem foods. And when I say problem foods, I mean sugar, I mean gluten, I mean most grains. You're not going to have any grains tomorrow. Even though grains can be good, things like quinoa in moderation, a lot of it, like corn and a lot of things that people eat on a normal daily basis, can be very inflammatory for the body. It can cause gut dysbiosis, which means inflammation in the gut. I talk to people that are very thin and look healthy, and they're like, oh my gosh, my gut's all over the place. I can't, I get acid reflux. I'm not digesting well. I always feel bloated. Everything feels full. So there might be problems that we don't even realize we have until we eliminate those foods. And that's a big one that happens too, is people will eliminate something, and it's got to be more than one day. But let's say you go for a month and you eliminate something, and you're like, I'm going to go have a pizza. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much this was affecting me. And I just think of it as being in silence, and then suddenly all the noises sound loud when you come back out into, if you were to go on a retreat and then you come back to a big city, you're like, oh, I didn't realize how noisy and disruptive everything was. So it's taking a silence for your body for a day. Another thing you'll get out of this detox tomorrow is hydration, because we include green juice and we include soup with liquid in it, and even the salads are hydrating. So a lot of us are dehydrated and don't know it. And water alone isn't enough to hydrate your body if all you're eating is dense cooked foods and heavy foods and processed foods. The day of detox will just boost. What I love about green juice is it just all my cells just so spark. I feel like I'm just more alive when I'm drinking green juice in the morning, which you'll get tomorrow morning. And also you'll get more nutrition. Sometimes we're just lacking in nutrition, and that Caitlin and I both really believe in eating in a way, especially if you are going to eat a vegan diet, even just for a month, that it's like about nourishment, because let's all face it, a vegan diet in and of itself is not healthy. There's vegan donuts, there's pasta, there's tons of foods that you can eat, tons of cashews and things like that, that aren't going to make you feel vibrant and alive. So it's about knowing the nutrient profile. So tomorrow, even tomorrow, what you're getting tomorrow, if you decide you want to do this for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, even 5 days, you're going to get all the nutrients you need in this food this recipe layout. We really thought it through, what goes into it. You might experience clearer thinking, more mental clarity, more inspiration, just feeling like, oh, I'm inspired. I know with me, when I really got deep into cleansing my body, like the inspiration is just off the charts. Oh, I want to start this project. Oh, I should finish that painting I never did. Let me get my sewing machine out, whatever it is for you. Let me finish that book. And also what happens with a detox is it gets you inspired to start on a healthier journey. As soon as you take one step in the direction for your body of health, your body is like, yay, it's like throwing a little party. She loves me, she loves me. And then it's gonna be easier to want to step more into that. And that we all know, it's like, I want to get off the sugar, but every day you're like, oh, maybe just one little bite or one thing, or then snowballs. So like taking a day off, your body goes, relief, I can do this. So those are just a few of the benefits you might get from one day. And then I always have people ask, well, is there anybody that should not do a detox like this? This is for everybody. What we're doing tomorrow, it could be for someone that's actually got an ailment, not feeling well, needs more mental clarity. Pregnant women can do this, nursing women can do this. So everybody can do this. And, even men who think they need a ton of calories, it's good for them to take a break every once in a while and get a little less food in them. Give your body time to rest and relax. And eliminating toxins in general will help you reach your goals, because just all those things I already mentioned, like as the body gets rid of stuff, it's just able to move. There's more momentum. So inertia, couch potato versus we meet people that are out there doing fitness every day, completely two different opposite ends. So this is a way to get the inertia going in the movement direction. Just get that ball spinning, like stop the habits that aren't working for you. And it also supports your liver, and especially if you did this for 3 days, your liver gets a break from all the added things that it has to deal with, all the toxins from processed foods. And the recipes are so easy, it's pretty stress-free, so that helps your liver as well. And it takes the guesswork out of like, what am I having for dinner? What am I supposed to do? What am I eating? Everything's just right there laid out for you. And just a little bit more about sugar and gluten addiction is that sugar is, and a lot of you know this, but when they've tested, mice, they would rather go for that than even heroin or cocaine. It's such an addictive dopamine hit, and we have to be careful of dopamine hits. So why are we making the food choices we're making? You can ask yourself before you have that, yummy bagel or whatever it is that has white flour or is just going to stimulate you. Like, why am I making this choice? Oh, I want that hit to keep going. And the other side effect is depression. I know so many people that I've helped get off sugar that the depression just goes away naturally. What about a dumbing down or a numbing out? As a society, it's easy to get dumbed down by just making food choices that are going to just numb us out, make us want to lay on the couch, watch TV, be complacent, not be active and participatory in our society and speaking up. All of that can happen from just wrong food choices. It just kind of shuts you down. So does this sound like anybody you know? Maybe like you? It can happen to anybody and it can sneak up on you. So we're going to continue to be here for you for as long as we can in life. You can keep coming back to us because we're going to be here to inspire you and keep reminding you of why it's important to make healthy and good food choices.
And we're both recovering sugar addicts.
Yes.
I know I definitely was a lot of my ailments probably can be tied back to sugar. So that's why we're so inspired. And that's why you get just 1 day without any added sugar, which is a big, big deal. So congrats for even taking the first step and joining this class, because it is really, really hard. It's such a brain and gut connection that we have these sugar addictions. It is just rampant. So even just the commitment to do one day is super huge. And type in any questions that you have so far, and we'll definitely get to them. Julie asks, if your liver is feeling good, is your digestion better? That's a really great question. Absolutely. So all of our systems are tied together, and when our gut is in balance and we have this healthy gut bacteria, that is less of a burden on the liver. If you aren't digesting your food and it's passing through your stomach and it's going into your large intestine, the liver is getting overburdened with that. It's having to produce bile. Things become sluggish. So when we get our digestive system working, the liver works better. When we get our liver working better, our digestive system works better. So they both go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen people lose weight just from detoxing their liver, like a liver flush, because it just totally ramps up their digestion. You can tell after doing like a 5-day liver flush, like, oh my gosh, I'm digesting so much quicker. So that was a really great point, Julie. The more you do this kind of stuff, the better your liver's going to get.
And I'm going to talk a lot about the ingredients in the book and why we want to use those for our liver and digestion. You'll see that they're both tied together. And Lynn, hi Lynn. Lynn's been in our 30-day program many years now. And she said, I've been off sugar and low carb and keto for over a year since starting this diet, and my eyesight has gotten better. Woohoo, that is so great. I'm going to actually talk about that and some of the ingredients that we're going to use in our book. But getting clearer vision, I have definitely experienced this. Actually, I had really bad eyes. And in the last 2 years, my vision, every time I go to the eye doctor, has gotten better, which is just wild. Some people it's totally wacky, but it's definitely from eating clean.
I agree. My vision, I'm 56 and I rarely use readers. And the only time I notice I really need them is if I've been eating grains. It's so funny. Like if I start eating some quinoa or whatever, I'm like, oh, the vision's like, my body tells me like, oh, you need your readers now. So that's something to pay attention to as you do this.
Yeah. And Julie says sugar for me, eyesight kaput. Totally. Yeah. All right. Well, I printed out the little book that we gave you. So hopefully you will too, because it's really nice to just have it in front of you, have it in your kitchen this week. And I'm on the first page, which is the 1-day detox plan. So what are we actually going to be doing tomorrow? The first thing we want you to do is hot lemon water. Here, let me just spotlight myself. There we go. So the reason why we have you do warm lemon water, and this may seem so basic, everybody knows they should be drinking lemon water in the morning, but do you really know why? Because lemon water is such a great flusher in the morning, and it actually helps dissolve fat in the liver, and it reduces inflammation like we talked about before, and it increases something called choline in the body and in the liver, which helps produce bile, and bile is what helps us digest our food, and it's what keeps our liver functioning so well. So that is just one of the things that lemon provides. Highly recommend just getting whole lemons and squeezing it in. I see Annabelle asked about Meyer lemons. Meyer lemons would be awesome. There's not too much sugar. They are a little bit sweeter, but they're still going to provide so much vitamin C, which is so great for the skin. Vitamin C really helps with oxidative stress. And as we know, it helps with immunity. So getting that vitamin C flush in the morning, you're actually going to find your digestive system turns on too, and you may have to go to the bathroom right away. So that's why we really love it. Lemons are actually really high in lots of phytonutrients, and some of the phytonutrients in there actually lower blood sugar and they lower insulin. So that can actually be tied to helping us lose weight. If we have excess insulin or we have insulin resistance, then we can gain weight, or it can be really stubborn to get weight off. So even just adding in a lemon water in the morning, and the reason why I say warm is because getting something warm in your digestion right when you wake up is going to be just really nourishing for the system. Sometimes when we add in cold water right away, it can really just like jolt the body, jolt the stomach, and jolt the liver. So getting in that warm, especially it's winter now, having a really warm, nice lemon water. So again, this is really, really simple, but maybe you may learn something from, these recipes, or maybe just a reminder like, hey, I haven't actually done my lemon water in a while, so I'm going to do it. The next drink we have is your apple cider vinegar drink, and I actually have it here. So nice. we have it as an option for you to drink in the morning or maybe before your meal, like your lunch or your dinner. I like to sip it in the afternoon, especially if I'm having any sort of sugar cravings. Apple cider vinegar is just such a great also way to balance the blood sugar. And it helps break up mucus in the liver. So it starts the digestive process. It's kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a bitter. It helps the stomach producing HCl. So we love the Bragg's brand, but any raw apple cider vinegar that says it still has the mother in it is going to be really, really great one to get or to use. I'm sure a lot of you already have it, but that's just a reminder. Make sure it's organic because that's important. And I want to touch on that actually, because for one day, if you can do all organic, that would actually be amazing too, because non-organic conventional foods, as we know, they have a lot of pesticides on them, and that can actually cause a lot of the brain fog or the fatigue or the skin issues. So when we're doing this one day detox, we want to be filling our body with like the cleanest, purest ingredients possible. So really buying everything on here organic is going to be really, really beneficial, especially the lemons and the apple cider vinegar, anything that you're juicing. So besides that apple cider vinegar drink, I just want to make sure I covered it all. Again, it has the lemon in there, and cayenne is a really great metabolism booster. That can be omitted. That is totally up to you if you're not a cayenne person, but it's not going to taste spicy. It's just going to add a little bit of an oomph to it. And then we always like to add salt. That's going to mineralize the body. That also helps with the detox process. And stevia to taste. So stevia is one of the sweeteners that you're going to see on your detox, and one that we use a lot in our 30-day detox programs because it doesn't spike the blood sugar or the insulin. So it's a completely zero glycemic food. And we have a few brands that we recommend because a lot of people, you know, stevia can be bitter, but I guarantee you after this one day detox, stevia might taste a little better to you because we're changing the palate. We're reaching for something more natural rather than something like cane sugar or even coconut sugar. So that's why we have the stevia in there. We don't want you to suffer through this. We want you to still be able to get your beverages down. And that is one way. Let's see, we have a few questions. What can be taken instead of lemon? It gives me a stomach ache whenever I eat it on an empty stomach. So that's a really good question. You can definitely just skip the lemon. I would add a pinch of mineral salt to your water in the morning. That's just going to be really good hydration. So you can definitely skip the lemon, or you can just add a little apple cider vinegar. That might be a nice substitute as well. And is there any concern that apple cider vinegar can erode the enamel? Apple cider vinegar is actually very alkalizing, but if you're concerned at all, that's why I have this straw. I would say lemon is more of a concern for the enamel. And if you want to, just after your beverage, just go and brush your teeth, or sometimes we even tell our detox clients to swish with baking soda and water, if that's a concern for you. And then let's move on to the green juice, because I see a lot more questions coming through. I'll make sure to answer them. So the cleansing green juice. I'm going to pop a few videos in the chat box here. Hopefully all your chats stay there. So if you've never made green juice before, we have a ton of YouTube videos that you can watch and learn. And you don't have to have a juicer. And that's what's amazing about this is you can make any of these juices or the cleansing green juice right from your Vitamix if you have a nut milk bag. So either of those videos, save those if you need some instruction on that. And let's see. Okay, I'll get to more questions in a second. Green juice, as we know, super hydrating. Celery and cucumber are a great natural diuretic that flush the liver and the kidneys. That's why we like to add that in there. Elena started this business because of green juice, and it is something that had her, you know, create the name Pure Joy Planet. And I totally agree, because it really does just bring so much pure joy, and you'll feel it after. You'll feel this instant burst of just vitality and energy because we're taking out that fiber. Our bodies don't have to do anything to digest. So we really, really recommend the green juice on here. Now, if you don't have all the ingredients, that's okay. If you just have celery, that's awesome. If you just have celery and cucumber, that's also a great green juice. You don't need to add the parsley or the cilantro if you don't have it or you don't have access. Or you could just add all parsley and no cilantro, vice versa. So make this as easy as possible for you. Just really getting the nutrition and following as much as you can. But we all live in different places, and I know it's the middle of winter, so don't stress if you can't get an ingredient. Elena, I see you're ready up there. Do you want to chime in on anything?
I love what you're saying.
Awesome. Okay. And then I'll just do the smoothie and the soup, and then Elena's going to show us how to make the dressing and salad. So last thing, the heavy metal detox smoothie. I've been drinking this for about 2 weeks now. I was off of a smoothie kick for a really long time, and I decided, you know what, I miss my smoothies, and even though it's winter and cold, I'm going to add them back in. And really, it has been such a nice change. I really, really love having all of this hydration first thing in the day. And if you followed me for any amount of time, you know my biggest obsession, superfood, is spirulina. So it is in the smoothie. And the reason why I love it on a one-day detox is because it adds so much just nice, clean protein. Spirulina is actually a complete protein source. So if you're worried about getting enough nutrition tomorrow, you don't have to, because spirulina actually probably has most of the nutrition you need for a whole day. If you've never eaten spirulina before, definitely start with like a teaspoon. I err on the side of 2 to 3 for myself, but I've been eating it for years. And it's actually a heavy metal detoxer. So that's also why I have it in here. And again, it helps with candida, actually. So it helps with any sugar cravings. I can say it was one of the things that really did heal my gut when I was first on my healing journey. That and green juice. It is such an amazing gut healer and gives you so much of the nutrition, like I said. You'll see here we have zucchini in the smoothie, and that is really just our little trick as a banana replacement. Frozen zucchini is gonna create a much more rich, creamy texture, but if you didn't freeze your zucchini, that's fine, you can just throw it in. But it just adds the texture without having any of the glycemic load or the sugar. So that's why we really love having zucchini in there. And of course, fresh blueberries, just for a little bit of, sweetness, but also blueberries are so high in antioxidants, and they have antioxidants in there that actually protect the liver, really high in vitamin C, high in fiber. So that's why we have those in there. Definitely recommend organic. If you want to do a 0 fruit day and complete zero sugar, you can skip the blueberries, and maybe you could even add some avocado chunks and a little bit more zucchini. That would be a nice flavor. And you'll see here the stevia is in here again. And I would say add as much stevia to make sure that you can get it down, because tomorrow is just all about getting these nutrients in and really changing the palate slowly. So like I said, not going to spike that glycemic index. We also have cinnamon in there, which is a natural blood sugar balancer and really going to help with the detox process. And then a pinch of salt, which is just going to enhance the flavor and give you more minerals. We love that. You'll see here again, we have the parsley and the cilantro leaves. We're really just loading up the nutrition for your day tomorrow. So that is your smoothie. Let me see, I saw a question about cilantro. Andrea asked, I ordered cilantro, but only got 2 kinds of parsley, flat and curly. Use just parsley then, that's great. Parsley is such a good kidney diuretic, really, really great for hormone balance as well. So I would say if you don't have the cilantro, that's totally fine. Cilantro is an amazing heavy metal detoxer for those that have it. So I would recommend adding it in, but even in the soup, Andrea, you can add parsley instead of the cilantro.
Or basil or whatever you got on hand. Any herbs?
Yeah, any herbs. Herbs are just really high in life and nutrition. And the last thing is the soup. This is Elena's original cilantro soup recipe that we have been teaching for years, and it's always in our detox programs. And it sounds weird to people at first, and then they try it and they're like, oh my God, the soup is amazing. So we have a couple options in there. You can add carrot or apple. I would suggest, if you're really trying to go deep in your detox for this one day, skip the apple and go for the carrot. You're just going to add in that much less sugar and that much more nourishing stuff for the gut. Elena, do you want to chime in on anything on your soup?
Any cilantro soup, yeah, any herb, we already said that will work, but just, yeah, give it a try, because people just, They can't get enough of it. And you can have that. If you don't want the smoothie, you can have just that in place of your smoothie. You can kind of mix and match. And I loved what you said, Caitlin, too, about the smoothie getting all the nutrition in. And that's why I notice, because I don't do smoothies all the time, I'm like, oh, I'm not getting my spirulina in every day, because what am I supposed to put it in? Sometimes I'll stir it in water and drink it, but I'd much rather prefer it in a smoothie. So yeah, and you're gonna get so much fiber, which is gonna help your gut. And I like the combination of spirulina and cilantro at 2 different times of the day, because somebody used this analogy of a football. So you're detoxing the cilantro and it only gets so far out of your body, and you need that spirulina to carry it through to get it all the way out of the body. So these things that we've given you are kind of setting you up to like move things through as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they work very synergistically. Like the avocado in that smoothie actually is really high in really good fats, but it's also high in antioxidants that help with glutathione production. So you're detoxing with the cilantro, and then you're boosting your glutathione, which is going to help further detox.
You're frozen, Caitlin.
Oh.
There you are.
Oh no. Did you hear what I said? Oh, shoot. Says my internet is unstable.
Well, let's switch over to me then. This is perfect.
Okay.
Go ahead and do you want to read any of the questions before we jump into the recipe? Maybe you should.
Yeah, Corey said, are green juice powders okay if I don't have a juicer? Yes. So if you have any like of the vitamin mineral green from Health Force, or even just spirulina, that is a great green juice replacement. I was actually going to say that. So thank you for the reminder. You don't need to have the green juice if you have green powders. And Julie said, fascinating. I crave parsley often. Actually, Julie, I crave parsley often too. And I actually do a parsley tea a lot if I'm not juicing and it's winter. So yeah, parsley is an amazing, amazing herb. All right, I'm going to remove myself.
Okay, awesome. And just a quick note on how to make parsley tea, if you're wondering. Chop up some parsley, throw it in a cup of hot water, strain it, and get parsley tea. It's just that easy. All right, so we're gonna make, this is such a fun recipe. Actually, my friend Penny turned me on to this. It's a really basic tahini turmeric dressing. And what I love about it is it's like most people have all these ingredients on hand, and it's so satisfying, and you can use it as a dip or as a dressing. So we're just going to use the Vitamix today, but really you could use any blender because there's nothing hard that needs to get blended up. You could probably even whisk this, although I do recommend blending for the emulsifying factor. So we're going to start with some tahini. I'm using this brand. It's an organic brand called Once Again. And if you're not familiar, tahini is just sesame seeds ground into a butter. So here we go. We got half a cup of tahini. I'm going to throw that in the blender. 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And if you want, if you're some people don't do oils, so you could just skip the oil and maybe add an extra tablespoon of tahini if you don't want to use olive oil. I just like the health benefits that olive oil adds in. We're going to add in 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder. If you have fresh turmeric root, you could do up to a tablespoon of that. A teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of garlic powder. These are all the flavors that are going to make it so great. You can use raw if you want, like a clove of garlic, but a lot of people they feel dehydrated when they eat raw garlic, and I'm one of those people. I think Caitlin is too. So the powders are super easy. You always have them on hand. Make sure they're organic. A teaspoon, half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of some kind of mineral salt. This is Himalayan pink salt. You can use Celtic salt. You can use real salt from Utah. Anything with minerals in it. Try not to use just basic white sea salt or basic white salt, because those are going to demineralize you, and what you want is to add the minerals in. Next ingredient is a half a cup to a cup of water. This just depends if you want it more like a dip or a dressing. I'm going to throw the full cup in because tahini tends to get solid in the refrigerator. So if I make this, it'll be kind of liquidy, and then I refrigerate it and it gets really thick. So you can always add more water and stir it up, but I usually do it from the beginning. About 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1, 2, 3. I always pre-juice my lemon. So for this detox, like if you're getting all your ingredients today, you go grocery shopping, just juice a whole bag of lemons and this will keep for a couple weeks in a glass bottle. And you don't have to juice a lemon every time. And that's what slows us down and stops us from doing things like, I can just open my fridge anytime, do a splash of lemon, which I do the same thing with the warm water and lemon in the morning. It's so great. And that is it. That's all my ingredients. So easy. Wasn't that like super basic? Like you can literally open your cupboard and make this in 5 to 10 minutes. Vitamix blender, make sure it's on low. Also, you could switch out tahini. If maybe you're allergic to sesame seeds, you could use pumpkin seed. You could even throw in whole pumpkin seeds and just double it. So you put like a whole cup of pumpkin seeds. And don't use nuts on your detox day. You want to keep it with the seeds. So it's a beautiful color. I'll pour it into my jar. I'm using a wide mouth jar because I do know tahini just gets thick no matter what. So that's gonna make, wow, a whole 16 ounces of dressing. And this dressing, because it has the lemon in it, will last for 10 to 14 days, depending on how much you open your refrigerator. If you keep it well sealed, it should last a long time, and you'll have that ready to go. So you can have dressed salad all week long with this dressing. You can taste it at this point, see if it has enough salt, enough lemon, all the things you like. You can add more. Start with less salt if you're not a salty person. Maybe start with a 1/4 teaspoon, and then maybe you don't need to add as much salt. Everybody's totally different in their salt toothiness. All right, so now I'm going to make the salad. I've got about 3 or 4 cups of greens. I did some red leaf and some romaine today. I like having romaine in my fridge because it doesn't go bad the way that mixed greens do. So I always have lettuce as a backup if my mixed greens go bad. My romaine, like that'll last like 3 to 4 weeks in your fridge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to toss all this, and then I'm going to add some fun things at the end. So I'm going to put in some tomato. And if you're not a tomato person, just skip it. You can just, I like to do colors. So I'm going to do tomato. I'm going to do some red bell pepper. And I'm going to leave some aside because I want to be able to make it look pretty at the end after I've tossed it. Some thinly sliced red. I like the red in the radishes because colors have different phytonutrients, and we want to eat with our eyes. We want it to look really appealing, and if it's all green or all white, it's just not going to look as interesting. I'm going to use a golden beet today. I just cut a section of one. I like to peel it, even though the peels are super nutritious. What I do with all my skins and peels is I keep them in the Ziploc in the freezer, and that's my veggie broth base, which I tend to make every 2 weeks. I'll make a batch of veggie broth and use it in all my soups. You could even use veggie broth in your creamy cilantro soup when you're making that instead of water. And then I'm going to use this little julienne slicer, but you could use a shredder as well. I like this because it slices and it juliennes. Just turn the knob, and you can get this online. It's progressive, and it's called a julienne slicer. All right, so we're going to julienne this on a number 2, and always put your safety guard in place. Oops. It's too thick. I'm going to do it on its side. Get it started, and then put your, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do both sides and make it flat. It doesn't, there we go. Okay. So I don't have to use all of this beet for one salad, but you can spread this ahead of time. You could, if you're going to do this for more than one day, maybe prep all your salad stuff and put them in little glass bowls in your fridge, and then everything's prepped ahead of time. So if you come home and you're hungry, it's already ready to go. So I love the gold from Golden Beet. It's going to go in there. That's probably plenty for one person. And then I want some herbs in there, and I love basil. So I have about 10 basil leaves here. I'll just, I waited till the last minute to slice those because they do tend to get bruised quickly. And I want to make sure that everything looks really appealing. So my last ingredient will be my avocado, which I do keep in a glass jar. Do you see how that fits right in there? You can keep it in a shorter jar, but that keeps my avocado from, I don't want to put saran wrap over my food if I can help it. It keeps it from going bad. So that's what I do. And I always leave the pit in until I'm ready to use that edge. I used the other half yesterday. Cut off any of the brown. And then we can either slice it or cube it. For this one, I'm going to thinly slice it, and then I can put that right on the top. And then let's put this dressing in. Oh, celery. Celery is the other one I was just going to show you on this. You turn it to slice if you have one of these. And I can do it on a number 2 and just a quick way to slice your vegetables. That's why I like this. And it's so small, you can fit it in any drawer.
Oh,
Funny celery. Do you have a question?
Are the beets cooked?
No, the beet is raw. Raw beets are so good for your liver. And when you cook beets, they become very sugary, as you guys know. So we want, if we're using beets, we prefer them raw. But I do have something cooked, which is some asparagus that I just blanched. I had frozen asparagus because I bought so much that it was going to go bad. And I just chopped it and blanched it so I can add that in at the end as my warm ingredient. During the winter, we feel like it's good to add some warm steamed veggies. You put broccoli, cauliflower, you put zucchini, anything. And this doesn't have to be this exact salad, like whatever works for you. About a 1/4 cup of dressing, give or take. I have some tongs here that I can use. Let's stir that up in the big bowl. I'm not going to eat it out of this bowl. This is gigantic. But I like having big bowls to mix my salads in. Otherwise, you're spilling it all over the counter. This asparagus smells amazing. I'm going to put some of that in, leave the rest for the topping. And the color of the turmeric, which we talked about, anti-inflammatory, great way to get turmeric into your body. And then I'll put it in nice. I have just this cute little flat bowl that I feel like is the perfect serving size for a meal. Now this is a meal. This is not a side dish. This is going to be your dinner. I recommend doing it during your hungriest part of the day. If you're an athlete, you've been out exercising and you're really hungry, get this bulky fiber in you in the middle of the day and then save your soup for the evening. I have done these kind of detoxes a lot, and like right around 3 o'clock, I'm like, oh, big salad. And this is so filling that you need that. You don't blend it up. Like you need that fiber to keep you nice and full and satisfied. Now I'll just go ahead and top it with the end of the asparagus. Maybe a couple more beets, a tomato wedge or 2. I don't need a whole lot of tomatoes, but they are so pretty on your salad. The rest of the bell peppers. And then last but not least, we're going to add our avocado, which I will just use. So a nice trick for avocado, I'm going to do my spatula, is just use like one of these thin Vitamix spatulas, scoop it out, and you can buy these online. Just type in Vitamix spatula. You can even get them cheaper than that from another company, which I don't know the name of. Okay, so then there we go. We can just add that avocado to the top. And the last thing you could do is sprinkle some hemp seeds on there. But this is a weighty salad. This is going to be great. You're going to feel zero deprivation with this. If you are in the mood for a tiny bit of fruit, you could sprinkle some defrosted blueberries on top, or a little bit of like a couple wedges of an orange. But yeah, do we have any questions?
Yeah, I love oranges are actually in season. So any seasonal fruit in your area, well, they're in season in Arizona. That would be amazing.
Well, I don't think they're from here, but.
And Jackie asked, can you use cooked beets? That's all she has.
Oh, I would just look at the sugar content on there or the carbohydrate content, but yeah, maybe just like a 1/4 cup, not too many.
Yeah, and does it matter if the beets are golden or red?
Different nutrition from different colors. I like the golden. I find I'm drawn to that golden color, but no, you could do either or. Yeah,
like Elena said earlier, all the vibrancy in the veggies, you're getting so many different antioxidants. So I love red beets. Does anyone have any other questions? Denise said, delicious. Are we supposed to monitor the fat content on this detox? Well, Elena, you can speak on this, but I'll just quickly say we're not adding a lot of oils. And like she said, you could eliminate the oil in the dressing if you wanted to do a little bit less fat. We do like avocados because it is a whole fat. So you'll see that on the salad and in the soup. But if you wanted to cut down a little bit more on fat, that would be an opportunity to skip that. The point of this though is to also feel nourished. My mom actually said she wasn't going to do it because she was afraid of being hungry. And I want to just put it out there that you will not be hungry if you're consuming all of this. Just like give it the opportunity, like just give it a chance and see how it goes. And you could add, maybe another soup in the day if you get hungry, but really this is so full of nutrition.
I do want to tell you that it's 1 o'clock here and I have not eaten today. I did have some coffee this morning and lots of water. I drank a whole quart, which is 4 cups of water. So this will be my first meal and I'll be finished with it, let's say by 1:30 or 2. So, you can space out, like maybe push your eating to wait till you really get hungry in the day to start eating. That's one way to do it. Everybody's different with that. Some people do better when they just stop eating by 5 p.m. Totally figure it out for yourself what your body wants.
Yeah, we love intermittent fasting. And if you've done any of our other challenges or been on another class, we talk a lot about that. And we implement that into the 30-day detox. So if you're interested in going a little bit deeper on your detox, then definitely check that out. We are so excited. We actually start the 30-day on Friday. We just want to put that out there because I know I've talked to a lot of people yesterday at the farmers market here in Tucson, and they're very interested in an actual 30-day program. So this is why I said just join today and get a taste of it. The 30-day recipes are not going to be this deep of a detox, but there are options to go deep. So we even give you, some sugar-free desserts and some gluten-free, grain-free breads and stuff. So you're getting all your bases covered. We're still just doing this elimination protocol and we're spacing it out over 30 days. So if anyone's interested, I'm going to pop the link, but really we just want you to do the 30-day or the 1 day tomorrow. And we thought we would do a little check-in on Wednesday, right, Elena?
12 o'clock on Wednesday for 30 minutes or less, and just see how you guys did and if any questions came up so we can keep supporting you. And if you want, after tomorrow, if you feel great and you have ingredients left over, keep going or do a half day on Wednesday. No pressure, but we want to set you guys up for total success. And if you have already joined our 30-day, I would recommend trying to stay on this till Friday just to keep your body in this detox mode, in this healthy mode. And the other thing I want to say quickly about the 30-day detox that I still absolutely love is you get a lesson every day in your inbox, in your email. So it just keeps you, I've joined programs where I never get notified of anything and I'm like, oh, I forgot. It's just going to keep you going every day. And it's not just food lessons. We talk about journaling, we talk about meditation. We get your whole, by the end of the 30 days, you've kind of gotten a taste of everything. And that's what's great. It's like a sampler month to go, oh, I really enjoyed journaling. I'm going to do more of that. Or I never thought about doing a food diary. Wow, that was revelatory. Wow, I didn't realize that food made me feel this way. So
yeah, and we go into some more liver supported supplements and stuff like that. So it's really just a deep dive. And we have 2 classes per week that are live. So we do a recipe class a week and a coaching session a week. So you get online with us every Friday and Tuesday. I see we had some more questions. Julie said, dressings, do you have any more to share in a class down the road? So Julie, I know you've been with us for a while. We have some more on the website that are free, purejoyplanet.com/recipes, or we have a, what's it called? Awesome Sauces.
Sauces, you're going to love that. There's a course online called Awesome Sauces.
Yeah, and that has a lot of different recipes. And then Corey said, can you do this 1 day for 3 or 4 days? Absolutely. We would highly suggest it. If you're feeling so good, like Elena said, after the first day, continue doing this protocol. And yeah, you could definitely even do this for a week.
You froze again, Caitlin. So I'm going to talk. Basically, there you are. Do you want to finish your sentence?
I'm sorry. I don't know. This is very rare for my internet not to go well. I said definitely continue for 3 or 4 days. You can even do it for a week.
Yeah, and I was going to say too, if you want it, after your tomorrow detox day, and then maybe Thursday, Friday, you want to do, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you want to do this till dinner, and then have a regular dinner. You could do it however it feels good to you. So we just want to be here to support you. But so let's talk about, I know our hour's about up. Let's talk about for tomorrow. Caitlin, do you want them to take pictures?
Yeah, so part of the challenge, and this will go out in the email as well, and with the recording for this, I also see there's some questions about like the brands that we like. I'm going to put the links for all of the brands into the replay. I'm going to send that out in about an hour, so you're going to get all those brands. You can get stuff ordered. But for the challenge, we'd love for you to actually do this one-day detox, and we'd love to see photos. So what we like to do in our challenges is snap a few photos of the recipes that you're doing, of yourself drinking your green juice, anything that just shows us that you're doing it with us, and either post that on Facebook if you're part of our Facebook group. I know some of us don't have Facebook, so that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, you can just reply to the email that goes out and send your photos. And then you're going to add your name to the challenge spreadsheet, which was also sent out, and that this will all get reminded in the email too, but add your name to the spreadsheet. And then once you make your recipes, snap a photo and post it or share it with us, then you can do a little check mark. So this challenge is just about participation. It doesn't matter how good your photos look. It doesn't matter anything besides we know that you did it. And then Wednesday, when we check in again, same time, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard, we are going to give away some prizes to those that stuck with us and participated with us. And it's also your opportunity to just ask any last questions that you have or share your experience. We'd love to hear how it goes.
Yeah, and just remember that Facebook page, if you are on it, is a great way to have solidarity with other people. I always know for me and all my people that join for my week-long liver flush, is like the fact that everybody else is doing it, you don't want to let them down either. You're like, okay, we're going to do this. We're doing it. We're all doing it. And this is actually going to be easy. You get to eat all day. So it's like looking forward to all the flavorful recipes.
And I don't want to cross over Dana's questions. She said, is coffee okay to do on the one day?
I think you could have some black coffee in the morning if you want, like, so you don't have a headache all day. Just a cup of, just keep it down to the minimum of like 8 ounces of black coffee, organic. That should be fine. Or black, you could go to black tea or green tea. No problem.
And if you want to unmute yourself and ask any questions just on video or audio, or if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. We can stay on for a couple more minutes. Jackie said, what about the Supergirl coffee? So we have a Superwoman coffee recipe on the website. I would say with Jackie, with that one, just eliminating any of the fats in there. We just want to go a little bit less on the oils, but any of the medicinal mushrooms and stuff like that, that would be great to add in. What do you think, Elena?
Yeah, I think that's great. I also want to say quickly regarding fat, like this only had a half a cup of tahini, and look how much I have left. Like that, I did maybe like an 1/8, if that, a 1/10 of the tahini, so not much at all.
And Angela asked, no MCT oil. So MCT oil is actually probably one of the best oils if you're going to add it in, just because it doesn't put any burden onto the liver. So I would say a little bit of MCT oil would be fine. A teaspoon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wanted to say hi to Carrie Bernardi. I see her there. Hello, Carrie. She goes by Supernatural Chef. She's my raw food instructor friend from Living Light.
Allie, yes, we have a question. Oh, Julie, go ahead, and then Diane.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So spirulina, I've always kind of had an issue with spirulina. Like I don't feel well after I consume it. So I do have chlorella. Is that something, can you just have that? And will that do close to the same as spirulina or not really at all?
Yeah, Julie, actually chlorella is more of a heavy metal detoxifier. It's actually, it goes a lot deeper. So I would say chlorella would be great, especially if you're used to taking it. It is one that can, give you more of a detox, like I just said. So you could experience symptoms if you're not used to it, but it sounds like you use it. And chlorella has so much nutrition as well. It's very much on par with spirulina. And like I said, it's a little bit more of a deeper detox. So that would be great.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Diane?
I came in late. So did you say this is going to be recorded so I can watch it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh,
so once this renders and I can get it uploaded, I'll send it out in an email with all the little notes and stuff that we talked about, so it can be really easy to follow.
Thank you.
Yeah. And a reminder, we will check in again on Wednesday for those who are going to participate with us and want to share their experience and or ask any other questions or participate in the challenge. So be sure to mark your calendars for that, and I'll send out a reminder as well.
Yay, well, thank you everyone for being here. This was great. We love your questions, comment on Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're here from you, and hopefully we made this easy and clear. I'll pop in the other juicing demos, and we actually have a recipe demonstration for the soup. So if you just need to see it being done, which I totally get, I'm a visual learner, we'll make sure to have those in there for you as well.
All right, well, have a great afternoon, everybody. And
Yay.
Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.